Hello, and welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex, your host, and today is May 11th, 2025. We are looking at a research paper titled Unified Multimodal Understanding and Generation Models, Advances, Challenges, and Opportunities, which appeared on Hugging Face's trending list just 6 days ago, on May 5th. This paper surveys the exciting emerging field of unified AI models that can both understand and generate different types of data, like text and images, all within a single system. It explores how researchers are trying to bridge the architectural gap between understanding models, often autoregressive, meaning they predict information sequentially, and generation models, which frequently use diffusion techniques, a method for creating high-quality images. Alright, to give us a sense of how quickly this field is moving, the first figure, on page 2, presents a timeline. This timeline charts the emergence of various unified multimodal models from 2023 through 2025. It highlights whether these models are publicly accessible and, importantly, if they are any-to-any multimodal models, which means they can process a variety of data types beyond just text and images, such as audio or video. The density of new models appearing clearly shows the rapid expansion in this research domain. So to understand how these models actually work, this next diagram from page 3 illustrates the typical architectures for the understanding part of multimodal systems. We see two main approaches. First, a dual encoder setup, where text and image inputs get processed by separate encoders. These are components that convert data into numerical representations called embeddings, which are then combined. Second, there is an LLM-based architecture. Here, after an image is processed by a vision encoder, a special connector module is used to feed these image embeddings into a large language model. The diagram also shows different types of these connectors. Okay, so after looking at how these systems understand inputs, this next figure, from page 4, shifts focus to generation, specifically illustrating diffusion models. These models formulate image generation as a pair of Markov chains, which are sequences where each step depends only on the previous one. First, a forward process gradually corrupts an input image by adding Gaussian noise. Then, a reverse process learns a parameterized distribution, essentially a learned mathematical recipe, to iteratively denoise it, creating a new image. The diagram shows this occurring in a latent space, a compressed representation guided by conditions like text prompts to produce specific outputs. Following our look at diffusion for generation, this next illustration details core components in autoregressive models, often used for the understanding part in these unified systems. It shows how these models process information sequentially. A key concept presented is discrete vector quantization, which is a method for converting image data into a finite set of discrete codes or tokens using an encoder and decoder. The diagram then outlines three main strategies for this image tokenization. Next pixel prediction, treating each pixel as a unit. Next token prediction, using single abstract tokens. And next multiple tokens prediction, grouping information into several tokens. Alright, building on those tokenization strategies, this next diagram classifies unified multimodal understanding and generation models by their core architecture. We see three main types: diffusion-based models, then multimodal large language model autoregressive systems, or MLLMAR for short. And finally, a combination of multimodal large language model, autoregressive, and diffusion. It further breaks these down by encoding methods, like pixel encoding, which processes raw pixel data, semantic encoding, which focuses on meaning, learnable query encoding, using adaptive, efficient tokens, and hybrid encoding, which blends approaches. This diagram really clarifies the current architectural landscape for these unified models. Continuing from that architectural overview, this table from page 12 now gives us a much more granular look. It lists out a whole range of specific unified multimodal models, grouping them according to those main types: diffusion-based, multimodal large language model autoregressive systems, and the fused approaches. For each model, it details the backbone, which is the core pre-trained model it uses, along with the specific encoders and decoders. For instance, you will see references to components like VQGAN, that is Vector Quantized Generative Adversarial Network, a technique that helps convert images into a sequence of discrete tokens, often focusing on pixel-level details. This detailed breakdown highlights the diverse implementations within each category. So after diving into the specifics of various models with that table, it is clear that unifying multimodal understanding and generation is a significant ongoing effort. A central theme we have seen is that the core challenge lies in bridging the gap between autoregressive models, which excel at understanding, and diffusion models, which are strong for generation. Significant work remains in areas like efficient tokenization and scalable cross-modal attention, which is how these models connect information from different sources, like text and images. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Research Roundup. I am Alex, and I will see you next time.